All right, we are getting into the competitive battle here, and we can see the squads, and they are making their selections now. Um, Snitch here, showing what he has, and we see the Yokama, we see the Cosmonaut. One thing I don't see here is the Calibus. So I'm not
This is
exactly
Snitch.
sure.
This is not
Oh, right, so I was
Blazix.
thinking this is not
Right.
quite right. My gosh, I was so excited about that match. Won't be able to see that anytime soon. And naturally, the Pig Epic is there. Any thoughts about how would you go into choosing for this first round?
I think that it just depends on this matchup. As we see here, we're going to be looking at the opponent's picks now and what they have available to them. We see Ohnoh with that Nidrasil. This is
Yeah,
SS. And we talked about how that Nidrasil has the potential to really lock down some of these comps, but I'm not sure if it's going to have too much effect against Snitch's team. Snitch having access to Capire, and even though it doesn't have a lot of strong wind Tems, like we would normally see with Voldorent, Snitch opting not to run. The Nidrasil will still. Nidrasil has the ability to tank out the Ukama and Saipat, but has a weakness to this Capire here.
very interesting. By the way, we have our first ban, and that is on the Anahar.
Yeah,
And
so
Pikapek gets banned immediately thereafter. Ono banning Snitch's Pikapek.
now we saw Ohnoh questioning whether or not to ban the Capire. Capire being able to hit the Saku, Gallus, and Nidrasil very effectively, but SS decided, I have ways to deal with this, I'd rather not deal with the pig.
Yeah. There we go. Now we're going to get our first pick in there, and naturally, Pig Epic is there. And now we have a Kinu and a Ukama.
Right, now leading with this Kinu here, not only will it boost up this Ukama's defenses, but having a Kinu picked early is just so nice as you don't have to worry about losing the Kinu in the next ban phase. As we know, Kinu is a very popular ban, so if he let that go and didn't pick it in his first two Tems here, it would most likely get banned out by Ohnoh.
That's right. And we see the Saku pick followed up after the Pig Epic. Now looks like we're going for another ban here. We've seen Snitch's Saipat do a lot of damage in the past. I wonder if Ono was watching.
Right, and there's also the question of, is he going to ban this Capire? We talked about earlier how many Tems on his team that would knock out, and we
He
do see the
does.
Capire ban. In return, we see a Volcrane ban. Now, I find the Volcrane ban interesting as he does have Ukama and Saipat available to him, both of them being very good if Volcrane was decided to be run, but now Gallus and Zenareth are more freed up as well, so it's clear that Snitch is wanting to run more of these Crystal Tems.
And right now, we are waiting on a selection. There we go.
Now, Ono is going to have a difficult time dealing with this Zenareth. Zenareth having crystal spikes allows it to outspeed and potentially outdamage Gallus, and not having many strong physical attackers, Ono not having a Saipat of his own for that melee typing, means that Zenareth is going to be much more difficult to deal with.
And Zenareth actually is only on about 19% of the teams in this competition. So a lot of people may not have ran into this yet. Any notes about Zenareth that Ono should be thinking about right now?
So, unlike Gallus, where it has to use its first turn to set up with Heat Up due to a lack of strong turn 1 moves, Zenareth is still able to do a lot of damage with its Channeler trait and Crystal Spikes its first turn. It doesn't need to use Madness buff and set up.
And there we go. We have more picks coming in there. Very quick on Snitch. He knows what he wants to play. And we are now beginning our first battle of the event. Double an elimination round tournament. And we see what we're starting off with here. Voxel, take it away.
So, the option I see being most likely from Snitch is probably swapping out his Tem here. His lead right now is not going to be able to be very effective against a Saku and Pigapek lead, and getting into a position where he has the ability to set up versus these two Tems as soon as possible should be his priority, as Saku does have access to build up his defenses alongside Piggypeck stalling out the opponent's ability to apply pressure. Kama's not going to be able to deal with this Saku right now.
So we could definitely expect perhaps a switch here to start off the round. And right now we're waiting. Here we go. Yep, Ukama does indeed retreat from the battle. And we have Kazuma.
Now, Kazuma is nice as it is able to pressure Piggypeck to some effect, having access to lowering opponent's speed. And one thing that's great about the Tesla Prison is if the opponent decides that it wants to swap out and not have to worry about that damage from the Tesla Prison, then they still have to get hit by a speed decrease, which will still have Zenareth in a very good position.
All right. And right away, Snitch ready with the moves. Ohnoh taking some time to select. And we do see the Zenareth hit the board as well.
Now, Ohnoh decided to opt for a safe play as he knew the opponent would be swapping out, so even though Saku was full HP, he used Lifeful Sap to apply those 7 turns of regeneration, just so it would be able to tank hits from whatever comes out a bit better, as well as Piggypeck using Bamboozle on itself.
Very safe play. Ohnoh, definitely a bit more strategic here. As we are waiting for the selections to be made, here we go. Piggypeck will be switched out. Gyalis hits the board. Another switch. And Kinu comes back out.
So swapping in and out that Kinu as much as possible while still being effective is going to be great for the Snitch here, as being able to build up the special defense and defenses on this Zenareth. It has +3 special defense stages now and +1 defense stage, which means that this Zenareth is going to become very difficult to deal with, especially since the enemy had its Volcrane banned and doesn't have a very clear answer on how to deal with Zenareth right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, Zenareth, as defensive as that is, and you mentioned Kinu being switched in and out, raises the defenses, both special and defense, correct?
Both right, for Kinu increasing it, but the Madness buff is another thing to note. It's very hard to deal with Zenareth using special attacks just due to the fact that Madness buff increases your special defense by 2 stages as well.
Oh, wow. So Zenareth, a very opposing figure on this field. Time's running out on a decision. Saku is retreating.
So we do see the crystal spikes onto Gyalis. This was to be expected as it does do a massive amount of damage. Killing it in 1 hit. And this is just what we were talking about with Zenareth almost being better than Gyalis at the moment, because Zenareth has the ability to hit Gyalis so effectively with crystal spikes, which has priority over Gyalis, so Gyalis can't compete in a speed versus Zenareth despite having the highest speed stat in the game just due to a lack of priority moves.
I can't help but say this, but Ohnoh definitely uttered his own name there. I don't think he was expecting that to happen. And of course, naturally, we're going to see perhaps another switch happening now. And Saku is in to fill in for that Gyalis after being absolutely decimated.
Yeah, and I'm expecting a Zenareth swap out right now just because it's low on stamina. It's not going to be able to handle many attacks now, and he wants to keep Zenareth as high health as possible to deal with the rest of the team. So swapping him out right now means that he can swap in something that maybe he doesn't need to utilize as much currently and try to deal with the Nidrasil and Saku without having to worry about taking chip damage from poison.
And there we go. Now we have Snitch's Gyalis out and on the field. Nidrasil there with an allergic spread.
So we see Bark Shield come out, and that's not going to help against Zenareth. As resting here, he's able to utilize Crystal Spikes again and pressure the opponent, and those defense boosts aren't going to help as Zenareth is a special attacker. His special attack is probably the highest in the game if you include his trait.
Wow. Once again, Spike's coming out here, and the follow-up there with Heito Uchi going to go ahead and put the Nitrocell to sleep.
Yeah, it didn't kill the Nitrocell, but that Heito Uchi was enough to put it to sleep, so Nitrocell won't be able to make a turn, make a attack this turn.
There we go. Another switch coming. Oh no.
Oh.
This is
no.
what we never want to see, and this would be a server disconnect. Hopefully a reconnect can happen, and we are loading. Ladies and gentlemen, can we beat the load boss? And
okay,
we
we're
can.
back in.
We're back in. Oh.
I was scared there. In one of our previous tournaments, we had the server go down for almost an hour mid-tournament, and that definitely put a huge hold on the tournament, and it was difficult to deal with.
I was having flashbacks of another game that I tried to play on Friday night, so I'm glad that did not happen. In any case, Saku still there on the board. However, the Nitrocell has been taken out. We're going to go ahead and see a new Tem hit the board. Now, he is already down. Ohnoh is already down 2. Ohnoh needs to make some decisions to turn this around, and he brings out Valorant.
Now, Valorant is going to be counteracted by this
immediately.
Gazama to an effect, unless this is an anaerobic Valorant. Anaerobic Valorant can increase its special defense and doesn't need speed, so the speed slowing from the Gazama will not be super effective, but if this is an aerobic Valorant, which every time it uses a wind attack increases its speed and lowers its special defense, is going to be taking a massive amount of not just damage but speed slows from the Gazama here.
Once again, Saku is being ignored, and there's that quarter damage being dealt to the Gazuma.
Yeah, the Saku's almost acting like a Pigapeg, in where you can just kind of ignore it and let it do its own thing, and just sweep out the rest of the team.
Wow, and Ohnoh once again uttering his own name, as Valorant will go ahead and retire from this battle. Pig Epic now making his way onto the scene. Can Pig Epic find some way to change the outcome of this battle? It looks as though Ohnoh is running out of options, and Snitch is just once again putting on a display of absolute dominance.
Yeah, and that Saku has no way to build up its special defense right now. All
wow,
it needs
and
is to
Kino
land...
comes right back out with the protector.
All it needs to do is land some good special attacks against that Saku to finish this off.
All right, and that is a turbo choreography that will raise the speed of both Tems on Ohnoh's team. Well, there we go. With the first hit against the Pig Epic, that will reduce the speed as well.
Now
that was the Lightning Rod gear. What does that do exactly?
So Lightning Rod reduces the damage you take from electric moves by 20%. Obviously, this is going to be very strong on Wind Tems, whose only weakness is electric, and having a gear to cover out your only weakness is extremely potent.
Once again, Kinu taking the hit. Both of them. Kinu now down within a quarter of their health.
So
another Tesla prison.
Right, he used the Wake Up just to break a Bamboozle if it were to come out from Pigapec, but instead we see Pigapec go on the offensive.
Very curious decision. Would you have Bamboozled there instead?
I think I would have. What I need in this, if I was SS or Ohnoh in this situation, I need Pigapec to stall out as long as I can, so I can try to deal with the opponent as much as possible, but now, it just doesn't seem like Ohnoh has a way to combat this. Saku doesn't have the ability to set up enough to really counteract the opponent team.
And there it goes. Pig Epic taken off the board, and this is something we don't tend to see so often, as Pig Epic is usually left to linger on the battlefield. And once again, Ohnoh, you just can't say his name enough. I'm having fun with that joke. Hopefully it's not old yet.
Yeah, he swaps out the Zenith here only because he knows the Saku can come out with a tornado and outspeed his Zenith and potentially knock out his Zenith, which is something he just doesn't want to risk right now.
Absolutely. So he will sack the Kinu instead.
Saku just overexerted here, so that means that he can just throw in Zenith and finish off the Saku, not having to worry about a tornado coming in.
That's right. And because the Kinu was sacked, Snitch will be able to go ahead and bring in a new combatant and actually make that happen. He does go for the Zenith. And right now, Saku cannot move. Zenith with the crystal spikes. And this, ladies and gentlemen, will probably be... Oh, not quite. Not quite. Almost game. But at this point, this is like watching the Ravens take on the Los Angeles Rams. And
it's already over.
It's over. And so I have to ask, where did it go wrong for Ohnoh?
I think having a weaker pick ban phase, first of all, was a big deal. We saw that Snitch decided to lead with Saku. Now, Saku isn't always not Saku. Ukama. Snitch led with Ukama, which allowed it to pressure the Volcrane off of being a lead, so he didn't pick Volcrane the first turn, and then that allowed him to ban out Volcrane during the second phase, because he knew if Volcrane's not here, my Zenith can sweep.